Hey, it's Cool3000 here, back with another Zach's Creature Facts video. Today we are going to be looking at the different corals on the Reef Mural. On the poll I did, surprisingly, it was 100%, so I guess we will be doing the corals today. Let's just get straight into that. So the first one I decided to draw was this, the bubble coral. You can see it right there, right under the triggerfish. So the corals on this list, I'm not really going to need to do a around the globe thing, but if they're found in a general area, I will. So what's cool about the bubble coral? Well, I mean, look at them. They're very different from all the other corals. And secondly, they're bigger in the daytime, but in the night, they'll actually shrink down because of light levels. Also, they'll release little tentacles and they'll catch food right out of the water. As I said before, corals and anemones have mouths. So the next one that I put on the drawing was this coral right here. Now, I tried to base it off a table coral. It looks a little weird. Most table corals are a little greener. This one I made a little bit more yellowish orange. So table coral, elkhorn coral, staghorn coral, they're all the same types of corals. They're just different types have different names. So table coral are generally more spread out and flattened on the top. Elkhorn coral, or staghorn, is what I based this one down here off of. So I'll just go ahead and do the elkhorn and the table coral right now. But since it's a lot bigger than all the other ones, little schooling fishes will like to swim around them through the branches at night to protect them. So elkhorn corals. Most elkhorn corals are found in, let me see if I can find it, the Caribbean. So the elkhorn coral is a little bit different from the table coral. It's not as flat. It's still a little bit flat, but it resembles an elkhorn, if you've seen one before. The elkhorn coral can provide safety for parrotfish, crustaceans, and other reef fish. Okay, so this next one is not exactly a coral. This one, the feather duster worm. So the feather duster is actually a tube worm. What's cool about this type of tube worm is that their head is covered in these little feathery-like tentacles. The rest of their body is concealed in a little shell that they build out of little sand particles and other bits of shells, things like that. And actually, feather dusters are so old, they can be dated back to the early Jurassic period. It's pretty old. Moving on, we will take a look at these tube sponges I have right there. So the tube sponge is actually not a coral, but a type of sponge. Now, sponges aren't very common, but this sponge can be found all around the Gulf of Mexico, reaching down to Venezuela. Now, there's not much to say about the tube sponge, so that's why we're going to move on. So the next one we're going to take a look at is the mushroom coral. So the mushroom coral. The mushroom coral is just another coral. It's pretty cool looking how it's lined like that. So the mushroom coral can be seen as either a single coral with multiple mouths or a bunch of little tiny ones that make up one big one, each with their own mouth. What's cool about the mushroom coral is that it can change its gender. So if there's only two females, one of them can be a male, and then they can reproduce, and there will be more mushroom corals, which is probably good for people who frag and sell mushroom corals. And the last one we're going to be taking a look at is the anemone. So anemones, unlike the mushroom coral, they don't need one of each gender to reproduce. They just split. So that's why you'll find like different clans of anemones. You can have two of the same species of anemone, but there'll be different clans. So that's why you have to be careful when you have different anemones in your tank. It's not easy. I've seen people try to take care of multiple anemones in the same tank. It's hard. Anemones are special. They don't sting or zap like most people would assume. They have little tiny barbs that if you brush up against it, they'll get stuck in your skin and they will inject a little toxin in you. I believe it's a toxin. The clownfish and a few other species develop a mucus around their skin once they're stung once that will help them go through the anemone without getting barbed or stung. It's a symbiotic relationship, so that they both get what they want. Clownfish gets protection, an enemy gets food. I guess you could say the enemy's a foodie. Alright, well that's all I got time for in this episode. Sorry it was a little bit shorter. I wanted to just get through the corals though. I'm going to be away on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so that's why I am releasing this episode a little early. I had to cut a little quick because I gotta leave in the morning. But that will be the end of this episode. Remember to tune in at Tuesday and Saturday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, if you want to see a new episode. But that will be the end of Cool Kid 3000's Zach's Creature Facts. Don't forget to like the video, share this video with your friends, share my channel, comment below what you thought about the video. If you want me to do any specific creatures, I could do that. But don't forget the most important thing to do is to smash that subscribe button and ring-a-ling-ling-ling that bell. But with that being said, Cool Kid 3000 signing off. Anemone.